Good evening. This review is intended to give you insight on how the so-called big beautiful bill, is just a pile of bullcrap to be dumped on middle and low-income Americans, a legislative masterpiece touted as a gift to the American people, but actually the biggest scam they don't want you to know about or understand. It's wrapped in promises of tax cuts, jobs, and prosperity, like a gold-plated escalator to a brighter future. But when a bill comes with this much fanfare, my alarm bells ring louder than a caffeinated town crier. It's like being offered a free timeshare, tempting on the surface, but you know there's a catch. The glossy brochure hides the real story in the fine print, details that could turn this gift into a financial sinkhole for ordinary Americans. Congress was given only a few hours to review the 100-page bill, which normally they are given 3 days. Even more suspicious was having a hearing start at 1 a.m. and a final vote at 7 a.m. We're grabbing a magnifying glass and sharing with you what's really inside this big crap bill, with the information you must have that they won't tell you. Let's start with the classics. Tax breaks for the ultra-wealthy. First up, the carried interest loophole. Hedge fund managers and private equity execs pay a lower tax rate on their millions than regular workers do on their paychecks. We're told these breaks will trickle down to everyone, but in reality, it's more like a waterfall for the rich, while the rest of us get a leaky faucet. Then there are expanded deductions for luxury real estate, letting the wealthy write off more expenses on high-end properties, while most Americans see little or no benefit. This bill doesn't just cut taxes, it invents new ways for the rich to dodge their fair share. While hedge fund managers and real estate moguls celebrate, middle and low-income Americans are left with higher taxes or fewer public services. While you're saving receipts for a tiny deduction, billionaires are writing off yachts and penthouses. Multinationals park profits offshore, call it synergistic operational reevaluation, and pay less than a school teacher. The burden of funding public services shifts to individuals and small businesses, while the biggest winners are those already skilled at avoiding taxes: hedge fund managers, real estate tycoons, and their accountants. They'll call it a victory for the economy, but it's really a loophole factory for the wealthy, custom-built and running overtime. The rest of us were left footing the bill again. With less revenue from corporations, how does the government pay for everything? By slashing the social safety net. Programs like Medicaid and SNAP, lifelines for millions, face deep cuts, all in the name of efficiency. The human cost? Families choosing between food and medicine, children going hungry, and people with disabilities losing care. These aren't just numbers, they're real lives sacrificed for corporate profit margins. Ironically, cutting these programs often costs more in the long run, but short-term gains for the powerful always seem to win. This bill doesn't just pull the rug out, it sells the rug and charges you for the floor. Now the environment. This bill treats our planet less as a home and more as an obstacle to profit. It rolls back decades of environmental protections, making it easier for polluters to dump chemicals and ignore climate change. Endangered species protections in the way of progress. The result: dirtier air, contaminated water, and a faster march toward climate catastrophe. All justified with Orwellian doublespeak about streamlining regulations. It's not just negligent, it's actively hostile to our future. The bill chips away at labor protections, making it harder for workers to organize or demand fair treatment. Unions are weakened, overtime pay and safety standards eroded, and reporting grievances becomes a bureaucratic maze. It's death by 1,000 cuts, each small but together devastating. All in the name of flexibility and reducing red tape, for employers, not workers. This bill doesn't support workers, it undermines them at every turn. Healthcare improvements in this bill? More like higher costs, less coverage, and more risk for millions. Subtle changes to funding and regulations mean higher premiums, bigger deductibles, and weaker protections for pre-existing conditions. Prescription drug costs could rise while your choices shrink to unaffordable plans or no plan at all. It's a system designed to shift costs onto individuals and enrich the industry, wrapped in the language of choice, but the only real choice is between bad and worse. This isn't reform, it's a handout to insurers at your expense. What about consumer protections? This bill weakens the watchdogs that keep corporations in check. Regulatory agencies lose funding and power, while leadership is handed to those who see regulation as a nuisance. It becomes harder for you to sue corporations or hold them accountable for wrongdoing. Forced arbitration, limits on class actions. Your rights shrink as corporate power grows. They'll call it reducing frivolous lawsuits, but it's really about making you powerless. The balance shifts, businesses less accountable, individuals more vulnerable. Buyer beware, on steroids. Now, the power grab. This bill quietly expands executive authority, letting the president control more money with less oversight. Congress's power of the purse is undermined, and slush funds or broad discretionary powers become the norm. Regulations protecting health, safety, and the environment can be rolled back with a pen stroke. Checks and balances, treated as speed bumps on the road to unchecked power. When one branch accumulates too much power, accountability vanishes, and corruption thrives. This bill risks turning democracy into a one-person show. Voting rights, fundamental to democracy, are under threat in this bill. Stricter voter ID laws, fewer polling places, and voter roll purges make it harder for many to vote, especially marginalized groups. Gerrymandering is entrenched, letting politicians pick their voters. These aren't tweaks. They're calculated moves to suppress turnout and tilt power. The result, fewer voices, more exclusion, and a democracy with a members-only sign. This bill quietly erodes the foundation of American democracy. Not done with the environment yet. This bill props up fossil fuels with subsidies and tax breaks. While scientists urge a shift to renewables, the bill doubles down on oil, gas, and coal. New incentives for drilling, hidden subsidies, and loopholes for polluters abound. The message: green innovation takes a back seat to yesterday's energy. The consequences: more emissions, more climate chaos, and taxpayers footing the bill. It's short-sighted greed at its finest. The bill raids public education funding, diverting money to private interests through vouchers and tax credits. Public schools are left struggling, while well-off families opt out, deepening inequality. It's a two-tiered system that undermines universal access and the future of our democracy. Defunding public schools isn't just bad policy, it's a blow to the nation's fabric. The damage will echo for generations. So there you have it. 10 ways this big beautiful bill could be a legislative disaster. Behind the shiny promises, the real winners are the wealthy and powerful, while ordinary Americans bear the cost. This isn't just about one bill, it's a pattern of shifting burdens downward and hiding the truth in the fine print. While this bill still needs Senate approval, it is on track to significantly increase the United States deficit by $3.1 trillion to $5.2 trillion. Yes, trillion dollars. This is why Musk is making huge staff cuts, canceling government contracts, but not any of the estimated $15 billion in contract he currently has, and Medicaid, $800 billion over 10 years, which will eliminate health insurance for approximately 14 million people. And this is only the tip of the iceberg. This bill is crap. Don't take their word for it. Read, research, and stay vigilant. If this makes you angry, speak up and share the truth, because an informed public is democracy's last line of defense.